Okay. Hopefully the stream should be up and running. Hello, welcome to Advent of Bevy. So I'm planning on doing the Advent of Code, which for those that don't know is a yearly event where every day there are coding challenges that come out. They've got a little story around them and you're given data that you have to write code that solves and then provide it back to them and progress through the story. So each day you'll unlock the story no matter what you've done. And then inside each day, once you've completed it, you'll unlock a secondary challenge, which is, I think, the same as the first one, but harder again. So my plan is to do Advent of Bevy, which is going to be me going through and doing these challenges and doing them, like implementing them in Bevy. So whether I do it as visualizers or maybe using Bevy's queries and stuff like that for solving some of the riddles. So I've only looked at the first one, which it's basically just zipping two lists together and then comparing the difference between them. Sorting two lists, zipping them together and comparing the differences. So I was thinking of doing that with Bevy vectors, just so that we could like visualize on a map. Because again, some of the stuff doesn't work with visualization because here there's only like 10 data points, but the actual data, like I just realized I haven't actually logged in. So it's just, I will throw away into GitHub. Okay. Cool. So when we click get our puzzle input, it's lots of data, and therefore it's not going to visualize very well. If we did like directly map each of these to like a coordinate, like I was planning when I first saw this, I was going, oh yeah, so we could use like the X and the Y location and then, you know, do that, but that won't work when the numbers 1 are fucking massive, but 2 is just not really gonna work. So before I actually jump into the Advent of code and doing that, is the first thing I thought is we'll make an Advent calendar in Bevy. So I've already got it compiled so that it won't take forever, but we're going to use our assets here in Bevy's UI to try and make like an Advent calendar that when we click on it, it opens up the specific story beat and like then solves the code and like prints something on screen that visualizes it, and then like we'll have our what's it called, like answer there that we can copy across to the Advent of Code website. So first thing we need is obviously a camera, which is the first thing we always need when you make a Bevy project. So we'll set up camera, which is going to take commands, and it's as simple as commands dot spawn camera 2D. I think that's all we need. I don't know if we need to specify that it's a UI camera. We spawn Advent, and this is going to take in commands, and we're just going to make it spawn a rectangle now. So image bundle is just by image. I think it's just image. Image take anything in as a parameter? Yes. Nope, wrong type of image. Is it? What the heck? Go to image bundle and see what they replaced image with. Image node. So we need the asset server as well. Asset server. Oop. Alright, so double check my microphone is working. That'd be really hilarious. I also plan to make videos out of these. How I go about doing that, I'm not sure. So I'm recording the stream as well, so if more extra frames get dropped, that's probably why. I'm going to jump over to Discord and jump into the lounge. Okay, so image needs a color. In this case, it's going to be white. Image itself is going to be a asset server.load just bevy.png. Texture outlets is none, flip is none, so I think this is default. We're going to then need to add our systems. Add systems. So in startup is going to be set camera. and again, because I like to make my videos educational, or the streams educational, we're going to set up a system set. So in this is going to be advent set, which is going to have main day 1 puzzle 1. Right, I'll fill that in the rest of the way later because it doesn't need to be done on stream. So we're going to derive system, not system set, state. And that requires it to have a bunch of other things that it's going to tell me about now. So it needs to have debug. I think it's equal, par equal, clone and copy, and go, what else do you need? Hash. Is that everything? You happy now? Yep, cool. So then we're going to say on enter. Do you take in? Okay, you want a specific advent set main. Then we want to say spawn advent, and then we want to give this one when we spawn this, the camera one here. We want to state scope to advent set main. Right, so that'll mean that when we leave main it'll delete them, and then we're going to go dot add state scoped event init state, add an event that is automatically, no, it's registers enabled state scoped entities, and then I think we have to provide a state. That's advent set. Like so, and then we also, I think we need to init the state as well. Dot init state advent state advent set. I guess it's technically advent state. So okay. So you need to probably also derive default. Default. So apparently a 2D camera is a unit struct, so we don't need to do that. Right. When I run this, it should, all goes well, spawn us a Bevy icon, and from there we'll be able to. Okay, so Bevy icon in the top corner there, which means that it is in fact working. Lovely. So next is to spawn our advent properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, I think there's 25 days. There may only be 24, but let me go here and yeah. All right, so if we go 5 by 5, so we're going to say, I guess technically it would be day 1, not day 1 plus 1, and then we can just go like day 2. Again, I'll fix all that later. So we need to go for, well, let's commands.spawn. I'm gonna say cut this out. I'm gonna say node bundle. Node. Width is val %100. Height is val %100. And then everything else can be default. Right, so we're going to fill the entire thing with a node and then dot with children. Commands like this, and we go for y in 0 dot dot 5 for x in 0 dot 0 dot dot 5 think this is the best way to... There's a grid layout if I remember somewhere. Just have a look to see if we can find that. Commands dot grid. Grid auto flow. So is that something we can set in here? Grid. Yeah, so grid columns or grid rows. Grid placement. Start. Place the grid item specified. Start grid line. I don't actually know how this all works. Start end. Just say auto. Can I just spawn them all in? Let's find out. Commands.spawn. So we want to paste our image bundle code back in. Like so. But we want you to have a width. I mean, technically we want you to actually be a node and then have the image inside the node, but for now that'll do. Right. You have a node on you, I'm pretty sure. Let's look at this node. And then we say your width is value percent 20, and height is value percent 20. Default, comma, and then we go, is this going to work? We'll find out. So I'm not sure if this is going to spawn them in one long line. Like, I don't know how to tell this thing that it's a grid. Yes, it's just doing one big long line. I don't know why there's 9 of them as well. I'm sure I told it to take up 20%. Size. Flip. Do you have a size? Is this how this... What do you have? Color, image, texture, rect. Pop a rectangle that regards the image of the rectangle instead of rendering the full image. Nope. Image mode. Okay. Interesting. So what I'm going to do is I saw that the Bevy editor has that someone's ported it over to like 0.5, but like it's only a pull request. It's not officially released yet. So I'll track down their version if I can. Copy this. I'm going to go Bevy editor please equals git equals this. Okay, that person's version, and then we're going to go up here and say add plugins Bevy please editor plugin default. I think that's how you do it. Why are you not running? Failed to select a version, not for the requirements. What? 11. Is it not main? I don't know what's wrong with this one. Don't know what they've done to break it. So it's saying transform gizmo bevy equals. Okay. Well, where are you getting transform gizmo bevy from? That's interesting. Ah, okay, there you go. We're gonna patch that. I tracked it down. That. Right. That should fix it. And then we should be able to run this. And then we'll have an editor, and it'll make it significantly easier to work out what exactly we need to do in order to get a grid to lay out properly. One of those fun things of like the UI is not necessarily there with Bevy, but it's made even harder by the fact that you don't know what components do what, or what even components are there. So it can be significantly harder to do things because tweaking something here and compiling it again is just untenable. So the Bevy editor please makes it actually at least viable that you can make that kind of like test things, and then I'll update the code to the right stuff once I've got it working in a grid layout. I'm assuming there's something like one of these in Node, there's going to be like grid rows, and then you just turn it on, like grid rows true, or grid layout true. And without digging through lots of code, I'm not going to find that. I think there is display grid. Okay. So that's going to be at least one fix. So it's going to be you. I'm going to say display, and then display grid, and then yeah, proc macro miscall. Yeah. So we open this up, and we go. For some reason, the Bevy editor please has killed this. So I think it's because it's changed to the default cameras. So then there's node here, and then we go to node. We display, and we say grid. Okay, that did not kind of work. Overflow. Hidden because I want to know why. What are you doing to these poor Bevy icons? So we've got a node. I'm fairly sure I gave you a width and a height, my dude. Flex. Okay. Width 20%. Yeah, okay, that's working. And then height is 20%. Right, so why do you need your height to be 100? No, like 50%, that's weird. So that's gotta be that this doesn't have a... Yeah, so something's not working here. If I just said your auto and auto. Yeah, see again, you've crushed it. Why? Node. Somewhere there's like a computed node. Index, visible, scroll, picker, interactable, inherent visibility, computed node. So, some reason you are getting that value, which is correct. Your grid layout, position type, relative position. So, if I set percent 100, that doesn't make much sense. Okay. So why the hell are you only 200 wide though? Oh, because I only set the... No, I set the height. What the fuck? Oh, not 1,100. Okay. I don't know why the grid's fucking being weird. So you are the correct. So there was something about grid, I'm sure. Okay, flex wrap, flex grow. So each of these nodes is 20% of the parent. Maybe we just leave them as auto. Height-wise at least, auto. Okay, so their height needs to be auto. So, apparently Bevy crashes when you minimize it. So height is auto. Alright, there's at least one thing fixed. Your grid with 100. Okay, so they're doing that. They're not wrapping around for whatever reason, but I think again it's so clip, no, okay, it would work, but again, like I think they're below there, so you can't see them. All right, why are they hidden? Overflowing, okay. All right, so width percent, height percent, min width, min height, aspect ratio, justify content. Somewhere there's gonna be a wrap, right? Wrap. Is that no? Wrap reverse. Wrap. Columns. Justify content. Start. End. Center. Default. Align items. Click start. Start. Oh god. Why did you crush them? Okay. I don't know why they're not wrapping. Like, why is the grid not making a grid? Row gap. Auto. Pixels. Okay. No, so it's the auto flow columns. Oh god. Reverse. So I think you guys probably need to stay as autos because that was fucking terrifying. Okay. Well, your issue is fun. You fucking stretched yourself right the fuck out there, didn't you? I feel like that's got to have something to do with why it's not doing rows. Somewhere in here. Grid template row. Okay. Need more space to be able to read. Okay. So row 1, count 1, 5. Okay. Is it a column that we need instead? Row template column. Count. Hey, count 5. Oh, don't change that. Okay, count 5. I don't know why you're so squished. That's a little bit weird. That's probably because I changed that specific box. It's number 2, isn't it? Your width is in percent and it is 20. Okay, now I don't know why their height is fucked up. No, I don't want to do that because that makes you really small. It's crushing you for some reason. I think it's because it's cramming all 5. So we want to go aspect ratio somewhere. So first off, we want to say that your auto and then aspect ratio is 1 so that it doesn't try and crush them. Okay. Oh, so apparently aspect, oh, it's thumb 1. Okay. Like so. And what was it we changed to? Something like grid columns. Oh, okay. Grid column. Grid auto flow. Yeah, something like grid row templates. Defines the number of columns a grid has and the size of these columns. And the column may be complete. Okay, we want columns, templates, and vect. Or vec. And then we didn't want. Okay, so then what did you do? Repeated grid cut. Repeated grid track. Can I not set these? No, they're only public to the crate. Okay, you have literally no methods attached to you. That's weird. How do I get a new one of you then? Okay, there are methods, but they're just not showing up. Okay. Percent. Repetitions 5, value 20. Okay. And then we dot default. And then we go, why are you not liking this? Found struct range. Ah, yes, no, you don't go there. Thank you. So we spawn them, we get an aspect ratio of 1, and we go, is this gonna work? Okay, well, I feel like I've given them an aspect ratio of 20%. So we're gonna node and we go down. Yeah, you've got this one. Starting on some template 20%. So this didn't change anything. Okay. So apparently 100% is the answer. It's got to be that the nodes are getting like sized somehow. Just auto, please. Okay, now you're filling all of that. Now if I go back down here and say you're limited at 20% again. Okay, I think that's what we want. So we want to say that they're actually 100%. So I think we just don't set your width and height. So you just say maintain the aspect ratio. And then we go, is this going to work? Okay. There we go. So we now have a nice grid layout of 25 boxes. Now, annoyingly, I need to somehow make the fucking UI target the main camera again. UI target default UI camera. Is it just a marker? No, you have data? Yeah, you have data. Okay. No, default UI camera is a query for what is default camera. Is the default UI camera? Okay. So then when I go run, I should have the UI on the main camera, not the editor camera. Hey! 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are you not working anymore? I don't understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's obviously assigning the size of them based on the width. So we would need to make it square. So if I make this smaller, they all fit now. Okay. That's more. So I think with that we want to go. I think up here we go. Insert resource, window, resize. No. I don't remember how to set the default window. I think it's dot here, like dot set window. Window plugin, and then we say primary window, some window. Okay. And then dot default there, and then we say size maybe. No, what the fuck kind of information do we need? Position, cursor option, name, title. Resizable. So we want resizable be false. Resizable false. So is it size? No. Window level. Kind of fucking. Canvas. Nope. Okay. Focused canvas window level. Okay, so we have to go down here and be like, if I had a window, I can say default. I can say like dot width. Now, what does fucking dot width actually return? Resolution. Resolution. Window resolution. Are you like locked, aren't you? Yeah, they're all locked down. So we're gonna go new, and then we're gonna say it 512 by 512. Dot default. Is there an aspect ratio? Don't think that's something Windows can have. I get rid of the defaults, so they shall be there. Ratio. Resize. With the window resize constraints. So the options are min, max. So can't really lock the aspect ratio like I was hoping. I then I would let people resize it, but because we have to lock it square, we can't let people resize it. So run that. And let's see, did we get what we want? Hey, I don't know why that still works when it's not resizable. Okay, so 512 is a bit small. So we'd probably make it like 720. Go 720. You make it 1080 because then it would fill the whole screen because it's 1080 by 1440, but I want it to be able to like work on slightly smaller monitors. Yeah. Okay, it's still too small. 1080. I think my monitor is slightly small, slightly taller than 1080, but it's also not 916 aspect ratio. So it keeps messing up my videos when I go to edit them as well. It's really annoying. They end up with black bars on the top and bottom because it technically records slightly wider. Or like the screen's slightly bigger than the actual thing. Yeah. Again, we still got the same issue though, going off the bottom. Or is that because I made it too tall now? Okay. 800. 800. See how that runs. Okay. Alright, so apparently those extra 200 pixels were too much. Alright, so we have our Bevy images. So we actually want to change them to being just squares, I think. So I'm going to cut, we're going to say background color is color gray. sRGB 0.66. 0.66 and 0.66. Okay, next is we want shadow, box shadow. And I don't know what you have. So you have a box shadow color. Okay. Box. Box. The color is color. sRGB. We want like 0.33. 0.333. 0.33. Like so, and then the Y offset, X offset will be val pixels, 10 pixels, and our Y offset will be Y val pixels 10 as well. Blur radius. I know what the spread radius does, so we'll just move that as default. The blur radius, we want the val to be 10 as well. Dot default that. So that should give us box shadows around everything. And then we go dot with children commands like so. And then we want this to be a image bundle. Commands dot spawn an image bundle, and we want this image bundle, if I remember correctly, to contain a button. Button. Okay, so that makes it interactable, I believe. Alright, and then each of these needs to have like a day. So we need to import advent state from xy, taking an x, which is a size, and a y, which is a size, and then we match x comma y. We say if it's 0 0, return event state the wrong one, but anyway, day 1, and then it would be 1 0 is day 2, and then we return an advent state. And then we're gonna have a future. Right, future. And then if they click on something that we haven't implemented yet, which is any x, any y, return advent state future. Okay. So we then say that each of these gets an advent state from x, y, x and y. So that means that when we implement our button logic, we can then say, hey, grab the advent state, and we'll use that as a way of updating what state we're in. So, what we want is, I guess, to run this and see what it looks like with our Dropbox, with our drop shadows and fancy stuff. Okay. So we have fancy buttons. They have really tight drop shadows, but I think that's because I'm filling the entire thing. Like, I need the grid to be slightly bigger. Like, where did I set that? It's like a %20. I want it to be like like 18. And then we want to have grid column. No, it was grid auto column, auto flow. We want row gap is going to be a val pixels 20, because our shadows are 10, and then we're going to row column gap val pixel 20, and then we hope that everything's not so big that it still fills the screen. So next we're going to start working on, like, I guess, a loading of our advent code. So struct. This is going to be day data, which is going to contain a string, and this is going to be what we actually like pass in, and we're going to so update data is going to be a thing that runs whenever the state changes. So we're going to say res state, no, res state advent state, advent state, like so, and then we're going to say if state state dot changed is changed, not changed, return. Next we go down here and we say mute data. Data is day data, res mute day data, derive resource, and then we say data.0 equals ftfs read string format. Not the best way to load data into Bevy because I'm operating with the operating system rather than Bevy's data loading, but building a asset loader to load strings is just a bit tedious. And I don't need even more of this string going to just setting things up. So we're just gonna load dot slash assets slash And then we're going to go like this dot data. And we're going to need like a second state, I think. Possibly not. So we're going to say like day data. We'll make another one. So we'll copy everything from here. And we're just going to say, do this, and we say puzzle. State. Right, so the puzzle state is just going to be puzzle 1 and puzzle 2. Like so. And that's just going to be how this knows. So we also need to just resmute the puzzle state as well. So it is puzzle. Puzzle. Okay, and then this is puzzle state. Right. And so we say dash this, and we go here and we say state, comma, puzzle. Like this, puzzle. I think we do dot get, isn't it? Dot get. Dot get. Okay, I think this is fine, and then yeah, that equal. Oh, it's not sum, it's okay. Okay, data. Data. Error. No data for found state state.get and puzzle get. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not going terribly, except I had to spend the first like half hour trying to work out how to make a grid display properly, and then I've gone up here, I've restricted it to being a square window because I can't seem to work out how to make the grid layout respect the fact that that they should be laid out squarely. So if your window's wider than they are tall, it just makes them all bigger, and then they don't fit on the height anymore. So I've just crushed it. We said, fuck you, you only get to go sideways. You only get to be a square window. And then I've also had to lock it so the player can't resize the window, because if you lock them to a square window, they can still resize it out of being square, because I don't think there's any way to lock aspect ratio of the window. Then you need to return. Okay, so we need to go and I guess or not puzzle. What is changed? Okay, so then we go up here and we say update data. The puzzle. Steven's lump. Yeah, that's what I was doing, because the last time I did a like an advent of Bevy style thing, I think on my channel, I think I did it the first 6 days or something, where I did like 2 in a day, back when I wasn't working and I could actually do them like every other day. Yeah, asset loading is pretty cool. I was going to do asset loading, but again, I've spent like the first, how long is the streaming going? I can't fucking, it won't tell me. First 46 minutes, and I still haven't actually got to a puzzle yet, so I'm kind of like, I don't need to go to the extra effort of adding asset loading, and because especially cause like every single puzzle would need its own asset loader, because from what I remember previous advents of code, the puzzles very quickly devolve from being like just passing, like at the moment the first puzzle is past 2 sets of numbers. Like, where's my input data? Like, it's just 2 sets of numbers. That'll be so easy to pass because it's literally past this number, trim, or like blank space past that number. But like the future ones may have more complex data, so I don't know, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. I'm still just, again, working on getting a layout. Yeah, but in my previous advents of Bevy, I did things like there was like each elf had a favorite food or something, and so I did a visualizer that like stacked each elf and its favorite, and it was like tallying like really dumb things. Because the harder thing is coming up with a visualizer that doesn't require lots of space. Because with this one, when I was first reading the description, I was going, oh, cool, what I can do is plot these as points. And then I'm like, but I guarantee you there'll be so many points to plot. And looking at this, the values are like not going to be close together. So it's going to be, outside of the fact that just by general trends of like it's comparing the 2 lowest numbers will be together and the 2 highest numbers will be together, it'll definitely plot some kind of diagonal line, or maybe an exponential line or something, but like I'll know that they'll move in a certain direction, like they're not going to be scattered all over the screen. Outside of that, who knows what this would plot. And it means it makes it really hard to like scale it down enough to be able to plot. But I'll probably end up doing it actually. I'll just scale it, and then again, because I know it's square, I can just take the highest value and the lowest value and scale them. But yeah, I got to get to a point where it's actually rendering something so you can do the puzzle. So assets. Okay. Right, we need to load the puzzle. So we need to add a system, and this is a system on update. So dot add underscore system update, and then paste. Oh, that's not how you do that. Update data. Okay. Well, I guess it's on transition. Can I just do a transitions label that runs only when state exits and enters the provided enter and exit? No, I want a transition that runs on all of them. I think that's a way you can do that, but I don't know it. So we'll just go on update. So I guess what we need to do is make sure that I need you to run not on update, but on first, I guess. The question is, will it detect the change from the buttons? Because if I make the buttons run last, then first should run, then the transition will happen. I think because the state will be changed. I'm just trying to think of how to make it load. TIL. What's TIL mean? I don't remember. I'm not good with these internet acronyms. TIL. I'm assuming that's till I learn. Oh, today I learned. Right. Would be good. Yeah. So the on transition is actually kind of cool. The on transition lets you specify like a start and end state, and it'll run just like those systems. And so it lets you do like fancy things. Like if you're exiting from this to that, you can update stuff specifically for that. Bevy, I don't know if it's 0.14 or 0.13. I think 0.13 added the state transition, to 0.14 allowed you to transition from a state to itself, because before it wouldn't let you do that. So like you couldn't say like, hey, if they reset the state, run all these code again, because this is like a setup state. So it's like if you exited into the same state that you were currently in, it didn't run the transitions. But then they were like, well, actually, we do want it to run those transitions. So it's like, well, now you can set an exit and transition to self as an actual valid thing that can be done. Okay, so that updates the puzzle. So that runs last. So I guess we need to add our button systems. This is going to be I should have fucking made a whole module called UI. Button update system. Okay, so this is going to take a query. So query so buttons, and we need a query for what is it? It's interaction. And we also are going to need the what do we need? We need the access to the advent state with we'll get changed interaction like so, and then we also need a mutable access to next, which is query, no query, a resmute next state advent state, and then we go up here and we say we need to initialize the puzzle state. Init state puzzle state like so, and then we go for button in buttons. Well, we need to go interaction and state, and then we go here and we say if let interaction pressed equal interaction if, I think it's if let, and then we say next dot set state dot I think that's actually what we need to do with this one, isn't it? Is we need to, when we update our data, we need to actually be looking at not the current state, but the next state, so that we load the data for the state that we're about to transition into. So state set, and then set it to state, and then continue, return. I think you just return, because if you update the state, we don't want to accidentally somehow manage to click a state a second time. We reference that, set the state. So can I not get the next state? Wait, can you only set the next state? What the fuck does reset do? I am worried that I've broken this. Next state, unchanged. Okay, so we can set or we can reset. Take next state. So that nowhere to read what the next state's gonna be. Self.get. Yeah, see, this, I'm using the next state because I want to get it before it changes, because the issue is that the on enter will happen before the system that's detected that the changes happened. So like I wanted to get what the state's going to change to, so that when you click the button, I can load the data. It shouldn't really matter. I'm trying to think, because like the main thing it'd have to do is basically have an on enter set the data for everything, because otherwise it's going to have issues where it's going to enter a state and the data's not going to be set yet. Well, actually, we don't want that update. Insert. We want that in update. Yeah, so the smart thing to do would be just to have transitions that load the data. Like that's why I was going to hopefully on transition I could load the data. But I don't want it to have to write custom. I guess this is a good way to show off something in Bevy that I don't think a lot of people know that you can do. So we can say fn load data, and this is going to take in a I guess a state, which is just an advent state. and we'll return a fn data res mute day data and a actually it doesn't need that, it just needs this. It takes in this and also a state. Right, and then we go here and we say we do this and you say data, which is a res mute day data, and a puzzle, which is a res, so it's a res state, puzzle state, and then you just run this code here, like so, and then we say don't do this. You're going to be complaining that this is the wrong type, which is it's supposed to be res. So, okay, mismatch type function pointer, found closure. Is it dot into? Or is it move? No. Oh, wrong spot for the dot into, by the way. Yeah. Why do you keep moving it inside? That's not where it's supposed to go. Okay. So first off, how do we get an advent state? Okay, so puzzle. So you're just state. Oh no. So you're just state. And you're just state. There's definitely a way of doing this. I just don't remember how. Mismatch type. Especially. Okay. Well, first off, you're mutable. So you're a FN. No, you're not FN. How does? Found closure. Wait. You're supposed to be returning out of the closure, not. Yeah. So can we just say error? Please string. How the fuck? There's a way you can do this. I don't remember how, but you can definitely do it. How do I do it? Bevy function system. There's a way you can make a system take in a function pointer to another system. Is it Bevy? Maybe like system constructor. There's a way to do it. I know there's a fucking way to do it. The issue is that Rust is saying I can't give it a function pointer. We're just gonna. They do not capture any variables. Okay. But that's. It has to. How the hell does Bevy do? So we went looking like a fucking. I'm trying to remember what the other ones are called. So like on key press. Okay, no, so we want to see like button, read, and then dot. I'm just trying to find a piece of code that does it. Run if, run condition, button, key, Input key system, no. Pressed. Input key pressed. Is this the run condition? No, I don't think so. Key in state. That's the one. In state. This system returns an R. Okay. Fuck me. Impulse this. Okay. So you need to impl FN. You need to move. Hey, there we go. Okay. So then we want to say like on enter advent state day run run load data advent state day 1. We just make sure that that doesn't cause any issues. If I run that, apparently it's already running. Run this. Okay. Yeah, hooray! Fucking worked it out. I knew there was a way to do it. Like I'd done it before, but it's one of those things. Not many people know that you can build constructors that build constructors. Anyway, so what did it say? It said it did not run because it requires inaccessible system parameter resmute day data. Okay, yeah. So we need to add insert resource. Insert resource day data. It's nice that they made that not crash. It throws me off sometimes because like I would like it to crash so I know that something went wrong, but instead it's just like, no, we're just gonna print a message now, but good enough. So then next we want to go make a plugin. Can we use like impl plugin for advent state fm build, and then we want to go then we're going to go here and we're going to say, hey, I'm using a strum and strum macro. Don't put a semicolon. There we go. Okay, strum macros, and then we want to go up here. We want to go advent state. We want to go here. So I want you to say strum macros enum iter, and then you are going to say for state in advent state iter. So we say if state equals advent state main continue, and if it equals future continue, because they're equal. Then we just say app dot add system on enter state, and then we want load data state. There you go. Like this. So now for every advent state, it'll automatically add the on state system enter loading the data. Then we can get rid of this and we just instead initialize the system. So we select add plugins, advent state, and then we're just going to say main because it doesn't really matter. We're just adding the advent state plugin, and that'll automatically add all our data loading requirements, which is good. Now they're always going to load puzzle 1, but that's because we haven't really added any functionality to load puzzle 2. I think I kind of want to work at this. So what we need to do next, I guess, is add our back button, which is going to be like on exit main, add the back button. And the puzzle buttons, because I guess you don't need them to load for every single puzzle. Like, they're literally like default things. I think I made the shadows too shadowy. Like too blurry. With our spawn icon. Yeah, like reduce the shadow radius on. See you? No, you don't have the shadow. You have the shadow. I'm gonna say blur radius of like 2. Just give them a light blur, not a massive blur. Anyway, right, so we need to add our back button. So we need to say spawn puzzle const UI? I don't know. UI. I guess we'll just call it UI. New commands like so. We kind of need to go state res the advent state. This is going to be that when we enter a state, I want to state scope it, but I only want to state scope it to the state that we're currently in. So this should work fine. So commands dot spawn. We're going to say node bundle with a node that's default, and then we're going to go dot with children. P. We say p dot spawn. So we need our back button, which is going to be I guess a node with a width of pixels 100 and a height of pixels 25 and a left of 0 well, pixels, not past pixels, our pixels is 0, so and then just have everything else to be default, and then you're gonna also, I think, just have the text of the back written on you. So I think I can just say text no and just say back. Okay, we just need to go hoop. Alright, so this is going to be add system on exit advent state main. Spawn this puzzle. I need to state scope you. So you are going to be state scoped to state.get. Whatever state we're currently in. Right, you also need button. And you also need state, advent state main. So when you click the back button, it'll take you to main. Why is state scope not allowed to be a state? Because it's a reference. There we go. Right. Okay, we have to restart this one. That's the wrong thing. Restart this one. Come on, run this. Right, so when I click here, we end up in here. It doesn't seem to have spawned the button. Well, it has. You're the text button. Yeah, it's back. Where the hell is it then? So I guess the background color should be white so I can see you. Yes, you're not very plenty of transparency. So it's up behind that light. behind the menu. So that's annoying. We need to make it a little bit bigger. So maybe make it 200 by like 150. We also want to give it like nice round corners. So radius, border radius, all val pixels 5. Just give it nice little round corners. And then hopefully when I click on it, it should be a nice working button. Okay, so click on you. Right, we need to give it a background color. That's what I also forgot to do. So you need a... you don't change. You just remain default. It's background color. So, and then we say color white. Okay, like so. Then we run, we restart. And we hope that we have a background color now. Hey, okay. That made it way bigger than I was expecting. It also doesn't say back. Where is the word back? My suspicion is that you, the node with the text, okay, so you do fill the whole thing. So it's actually technically, I think it's this one that needs the border radiuses like that. Anyway, that's not important for right now. Now, why is there no text? Text color is white. Text color is red. Your background color is going to be like a gray, please. All right. So it's got to be that I think the text is in the wrong spot, like text font. Yeah. So we make the font bigger. Yeah. So we need to say like probably in your node, and then we say like children, right? Align self, content, justify items, enter. No. Align, justify content, center. No. Center. Margin, padding, grid, row. So that's all grid related stuff. That's the flex stuff. Somewhere. So first off, 200 is way too big. Well, 200 width isn't really too big, is it? No, but the move for me to height like 50. Well, I just need to align items center. No. Margin. There's got to be something I can do. What if I just said margin auto? I don't think this is going to change anything because the text itself is not. All right. Anyway, let's call that good. So we've got like one more thing to do, maybe 2 more things to do. So it's supposed to say back. You can't see it because the text is. Maybe we'll change font size. So go here. We'll say like text style. Is it text layout? Text justification. Justify text center. Is that what we need? Make the text layout for a specific. It would make sense that the text layout, because I was going like I can't modify the node's contents. Still not there. Now I'm going to go text layout. Word break. Let's make the font bigger. Bigger. It'd help if I also change the font size, font color. Text style. No, it's not text style. What was the actual component called? That was the question. That's when we add text, it adds the stuff. So requires node, text layout, text font, text color is literally just its own thing. So text color. Then we just need to say color, and then it's be like gray. sRGB, you are 0. So I guess you are 0.44. I don't know why I'm picking slightly different shades of grey for everything. Maybe just to piss the OCD people off, I'm not sure. But for some reason my brain is deciding that when I click a random key, it's like, no, different random key. So now these ones are 4.4, so the background's 6.6, the buttons are 3.3, the back font is 4.4. So it's all just very slightly different shades of grey. Okay, so I still can't see the fucking font, the text. So you just like text, font size. So it is centered. It's just, we need to change the font size to like 30. So we'll just do that. So we need to go like text, font size 30. Yeah, maybe even 35. Make a nice big back button. Okay. And then, hey, now it's just back. Okay. Now we can fuck around and make whatever we want on here. I probably want bigger radiuses on it, to be honest, but now I'm just messing around with style. 10. So we need to spawn that. We also need to spawn need to be like puzzle 1. And you need to say puzzle 2. I guess we'll just write 1 and 2. You don't probably need to say puzzle. Just 2. 1 and 2. They're gonna be the same size, except they need to have puzzle state, and this is puzzle 1. And your puzzle state puzzle 2, and then hilariously we need to go and copy our button read logic. In theory we can just make a second set of buttons, because so you are puzzle state, and then next puzzle, and then next state, and this is a puzzle state. Buttons, let's go 2, and then we just run exactly the same logic again, except it's buttons underscore 2, and we pass in not next, but instead next puzzle, like so. Okay, and then all that does is set the fucking puzzle. Now, the issue with this is that we need to run on load. And the annoying thing is we're passing the state into unload. It's part of the reason why we didn't really want this to. Now, in theory, we could have modified this to not do that, so we could have just said load data. You take in a res state, advent state. And then we say advent, which is this please? Go away. But I then want to pass in state.get. And then we'll just not pass in the type, because again, it's just more about covered state. Oh, because it's advent now. I changed its name. And then we just want to do not you. Where's the we implemented plugin for something? There, the plugin. So we can just not pass its state. So on enter state, just call load data, like so. I guess technically we call load data like this. probably didn't need to do that because we can also then also say app.add systems on enter puzzle state puzzle 1 load data. This is yeah, there's no need for them to all be separate systems, but fuck it, we can do that. Like, they just need to all be in every schedule, which is just a pain in the ass to do. In theory, I could have just used the same load data. So then when I hit run, it should complain that I don't have the data, which is fine because we actually don't have the data. So it's gonna say like day 1 dash. Okay, so we have them up here, and when we click this, we click that. So it's going to tell me that it can't find puzzle 2, and this one can't find puzzle 1. Okay, and then we kind of want to have a star or something to tick that they're done, but so there's a puzzle. Okay, puzzle1.data. Then we go back to here and we go A, C, G. Okay, so there's 1,000 points to plot, which is going to be interesting. So next is to go Antarctica. I think it would be funnier if the image map. So we want to say have a really dumb map. Is there a North Pole map? Possibly. Sure. Can we paste image now? Reveal an explorer. Assets. No. What the fuck did I do? Okay, there we go. A git image? The fuck is a git image? Save it there, and then we need to open it in GIMP. Open. Not my thumbnails. Projects. Advent of Bevy assets. This fucking weird thing. Now open this. And then we're just gonna like select just the North Pole. Like so. It's gonna be a really blurry image as well. This is gonna be kind of funny. Kind of want that to be square, but I don't think I can. I don't know. We can set it to being. We want to be like 200 by 200. Oh, not 200,000. 200. And then we just need to offset its position so that it's, oh god, fucking GIMP tools. One of the annoying things about making everything super customizable with things like GIMP is that you can end up fucking yourself over by moving like toolboxes around, and then you can't find them ever again because it's like, oh yeah, it's super customizable. It's like, yes, customized me into fucking making it not exist anymore. Yeah, anyway, we're gonna say Control X. Then we're gonna say new. Create from clipboard. That is not correct. Control Z. Control C. Oh, that is what. Okay, never mind. Okay, discard changes. So we go here, and then we say file. Then we say like export as. Again, not into my thumbnails. Into projects. Advent of Bevy assets. This is going to be called map.png. Map.png. Okay, cool. So cool data visualization. So what we're gonna have to do is first off, we can probably get rid of this one. All right. So we're gonna say mod day 1. So we create that, and then we say fn plugin which takes in an app. Neat app. So and that will allow us to make our plugin. We have a public, and then we need to add plugin day one plugin, like so. Day one. What do you mean day? What are you complaining about? Cannot find value plugin. There, you happy? Okay, cool. So we need to use Bevy. So use preload. Okay. That. Alright, so we have our app. And then we need to go, I guess use super as well, so we can bring in all that like stuff like the current state and the data. So we need to say fn setup state setup map. So we need a command which is close, and then we can say commands.spawn. Now, here's where we're going to have to be interesting, because we're going to have to swap to being a 2D thing. So it's going to be an image, not an image, a sprite. So your image, and then we need the asset server. So server, which is res. Asset server. So let me say asset server.load map.png. Okay, texture atlas is fine. How do I custom size? Custom size, and your custom size is going to be not color. Custom size. Vec2 splat. And I need you to be like 512 by 512, please. Default. Okay, so and then we say like app.add systems on enter advent state day one setup map. Like so. So set up the map. You also need to be always forgetting to do this. You are a state scope to advent state day one. Alright. Next would be we need to parse our data. Okay, so click this, and hey, we have a picture of Antarctica, so this is 1 and this is 2, until 2 can't load. Okay, and click back. Cool. So next is to say fn parse data. Now, what we need is a struct, which is going to be our solve data. Now this is just going to contain a 2 vectors of fucking U size, U32s, I think. And we can solve it as a separate step. So parsing data, this is going to take in data, which is a res data. It should really be puzzle data, but anyway. And then we need commands, I think, because we need to insert some resources, so later. Possibly, who knows. So first off, we need to go let new vec1 This is just a vector. This is gonna be really easy to solve because I've already worked it out in my head. So we need to get to this new vector. And then we say for line in data dot 0 dot lines. We need to say that line equal line dot trim. Let one equal line. Okay, let space equal line dot split pattern. I think the pattern is 3 spacebars, but let's see. I think it's 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. 3 spaces. Okay, cool. So the pattern is split there. We need to make it mutable. And then we say, I think there's no extra stuff, and at the very bottom there's no extra stuff. All right, so because our data's clean, we can probably get away with just being like line.next. Let sum 1 equals line.next. Space.next. Space.next. Else continue, and then your 2, and then we say let okay 1 equals 1 dot parse else continue. We should probably be logging that we're failing to pass this stuff, but again, data's clean. Okay. Error getting first value. Getting second value. Parsing second value. Parsing first value. We should probably enumerate I line I. Should have done this first, but again, I'm kind of just winging shit because I'm like, I think this is going to work first try, but that's always going to bite me in the ass, so I'm adding like extra stuff now. So, what? Type annotation, yeah. So then we say vec1 dot push 1, and then vec2 dot push 2. So, this is where we start doing stuff that's irrelevant to the project. So we say, first off, it's vec1 dot sort, and then we say like vec2 dot sort. Right. Now, so put the vectors in order, which is super easy, and then we say like min equal the vec1 dot first dot unwrap, because we don't care, dot min of vec2 dot first dot unwrap, right? And then we say max is last, because again we've sorted them, so they'll be in order, right? So that's our minimum and our maximum possible value that it's going to do, and then we're just going to work out scale. So our scale is going to be our scale is can I just tell these vectors what they are? They're I32s. Yeah. Why does your result type need and you also do it too? Cute. Oh, it's because I was passing it twice, yeah. Okay, so there I told you. So our scale is our minimum, our maximum minus our minimum. That's the range. Divided by, let's say 500. We need to turn them as F32. F32. And F32. Right. You apparently can't do that for references. That's weird. All right. So that's basically the entire distance from the smallest to the biggest number divided by 500 will give us our sort of scaling factor. And then again, the scaling factor is unrelated to the solving of the puzzle. Now we're going to go back to solving the puzzle for a second. So for x, y in vec1 dot zip. I think we have to iter into iter dot zip reference to vec2 like so. I think maybe just iter them. Yeah. Okay, so we have our x and our y. So we're going to say let so we need to keep count as well. So let new diff equals 0, and then we say diff plus equals x minus y dot absolute. That's the answer to the puzzle. Is we're just going to go down here. We're just going to say right at the end, print line diff. TP me. To advent. Advent. Nope, but cannot spell right now. Okay. So and then we press diff. So diff. That's our answer. Is that we're literally summing the difference between the numbers in order. It's not a hard puzzle to solve. The hard part is now converting this into something visual on the map. So first thing is we are going to say so that's a scale is how much one pixel is represented in the difference between the values. So we want to say that x pos to equal x minus min, right, which is the difference this is from the smallest number, which in the first case is 0, and then times by scale. I think that's correct. Or is it divide by scale? This also is. So if the value was 0, it'd be 0. If its value is 1, I think it's times by. As F32. I should probably do it here instead as F32, just so I still have to do it as F32. You also supposed to be dereferenced. That. Okay, then I don't have to cast them here. Okay. So x as F32. So downcast x. Okay. X as F32 times by scale, and then y pos is, I think it's not even a positive. So this would be y. The same. So it's y minus minimum. Okay, you can't dereference it. Right. So right, and then we want to say something along the lines of commands.spawn a sprite that has an image, which is asset server. I don't have the asset server. I don't have the asset server. Asset server. It's going to be asset server dot load Bevy dot png. Custom size is going to be probably quite small. No, it's not option, it's sum. Sum is the option type. Vec2 splat. Probably only want it to be like 5 pixels because they want little dots. And then we want color is to color sRGB 1. 0. So they're going to be little dots on the map. Right, and then it's going to have a transform. Not in you. You can go back to default. So we need to wrap that. So I'm going to say transform. From translation vec3 new. And so the vec3 is going to be 250. I guess negative 250 plus xpos. Stop putting so many spaces. Minus 250 plus ypos, and then z is just 0. We don't care about z. Then we go here. There we go. Okay, so on end of Advent day 1 dot add system. Maybe we should add a button. Update. I don't want it to print every fucking frame. That would be really bad. Kind of need this to just run again on enter. What worries me is that it won't load the data in time. Actually, the solution would probably be this. Also, all needs to be advent scoped. State scoped. State scoped. Double state scoped. Day. Advent state day 1. I think I want to double state scope it to puzzle state puzzle 1. Wait, no, we need to request what puzzle we're in. So res state puzzle state, and then it's a puzzle. So it's not puzzle 1, it's puzzle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll dereference that. Thank you. That means I also need to go back to main here and say wherever I did that weird enable state scoping, I need to say that also applies to puzzle state. Thank you. Yeah, it's puzzle LE. Okay, so parse data, and we parse the data on enter day 1. So it's more like, is there on change? No. On enter puzzle. Nope, puzzle state puzzle 1, and then we can duplicate this and say do exactly the same thing but on puzzle 2. So basically, if the puzzle state changes, run this. Except we need to add run conditions to only run if in state advent state day 1. So basically, only run this code if you're in one and you've just transitioned to loading a new puzzle. So that should, in theory, we'll find out, because when we open the editor, it'll reveal a huge big chunk of entities being spawned, if we've done this correctly. When we go in here and we say puzzle 1, did it spawn a big bunch of entities? No, it said no data found for main puzzle 1. First off, main puzzle 1's not a thing, so that's not what happened. If I click here, yeah, okay, no data for puzzle 2 found, but there was data for puzzle 1 found, so it crashed. So it panicked on unwrap. So that implies, for one thing, that it just never found the values, so it's interesting. So that runs on enter. So I kind of need to make sure that our loading of data, where we did that, I think it's here, load data. I'm going to say on exit and on exit. I don't know when you update the state, but hopefully that'll work. The idea being that we yeah. So the hope is that when we exit one of the puzzle states, it loads the data for the other one that we've just entered, because we can only be going between them. That's kind of the only thing that makes sense. So in theory, one should have spawned a whole bunch of dots. It doesn't seem to have. I see like a couple of nodes. Observers. So that didn't work. Why is it not working? So it's not working because, well, for one, we're calling .unwrap, which is just never the best idea. So in day 1, we need to not call .unwrap. So if it finds a line, okay, so so we're gonna say if vec1 dot len equals 0 return. Okay, fine. Dot is empty. Return. All right, so possibly it's, instead of doing it add system on exit, we need to be like looking on transition puzzle state puzzle 1 puzzle state puzzle 2. Maybe on the transitioning. Oh, right. Entered, exited. Okay, so apparently that's how you do those. So let me say on transition this way, but we want to swap puzzle 1 and puzzle 2. Okay. Right. So let's see if this works. Okay, so 2 doesn't do anything. Okay, so apparently that's our answer to our advent of code. Let's just chuck that in and see if that works. It is, okay. Continue about 2. All right. I probably should have read out this so that people actually knew the story, but I got distracted. Why? Well, first off, these are let's go day 1. And we're going to go, hilarious that they're all entity scoped, except I'm going to go like here and say like commands.spawn a probably just a transform default and a visibility visible, and then we're going to go to dot I guess it's dot with children, dot with children, then it's command, and then this, then take you there. No, with children. Okay. That'll parent them more correctly. Oh, you needed the fucking state shit. Okay, paste this, do that, and then we go main, and we go okay. So first off, I feel like I'm putting all the dots in like exactly the same spot, which is, it wouldn't surprise me because I'm scaling them, but I think I'm scaling them by the wrong amount. Dividing them by scale and then offsetting them by 250. It makes me feel like they're all going to be very close together. So when I click that, it does spawn. No, I have to go into 2, then back into 1. So I should probably default to 2 then. I don't know how that's going to work. So you spawned this and you spawned all these. Now, they have the correct sprite. They are red. Where the fuck are they? Well, they're very far away, which is kind of hilarious. So there's the one dot. So I'm obviously doing something wrong when I'm setting their Y. Y minus minimum. So why the hell were you so far away? Can I print out what scale is? What it is? Print line. Oops. Print line scale. Because it should be a fairly diagonal line because again we've kind of mapped smallest to greatest. So when we plot smallest to greatest like that, it should, each value, like each y can't be smaller than its x. Mm, 2, 1. All right. So what did it print out? The scale is 160. So we divide the value by 160, don't we? We don't multiply. We want to divide by scale, I think. Is that what we do instead? And then we should end up with a nice, like, I think they can have a little bit scattered to them, but in theory, they shouldn't be able to move below the diagonal. Hey, there we go. A little Bevy. So we haven't quite got that right. So one thing is we need to make the picture bigger, which is easy enough. So whenever we spawn the map. So you need to be bigger. So it can be about 20% bigger. So let's say like 700. We'll check that with the editor. So if we find one of these is a sprite bundle, I think it's probably this one. So if we say 700 by 700, okay, so that makes it nice and big. And you know what? We could probably leave the values there. We kind of want to scale them so that they're in the South Pole. So we're gonna probably, or in the North Pole, I mean, we're doing Christmas stuff. We're going to scale it down, so maybe 20%. So we want to divide by like not 500, but instead maybe 300. And that means we need to change this to 150, 150. And then we go save and we go run. Close this and then run. And then we're going to have a fancy little output. And I guess I'll commit that to GitHub so that anyone that wants to just cruise through that adventure code can just load up at this point, chuck their data in puzzle 1 and call it good. So we go 1, and we say 2, 1. All right, cool. So a nice little like solid line. All right. That's kind of cool. Might make sense to make it a little bit smaller. The other thing would just be to plot them without sorting them. The issue is we need to sort them for the distance, and I'm currently so the other option would be to iterate through all of them, plot them, and then sort them. So we could say like let min equal 0, let max equal it's the other way around. Let minimum equal I32 max, and let min equal max equal 0, and then you say min equals min equals the min dot min of 1 dot min of 2 2, and then you're the same except you're max max equals the min the max dot max max. Did I not make them mutable? Mute. Okay, minimax, push those, then calculate our scale, which is this one, and then spawn all of them. Take this code, put it back down here, put it back in. Do this. Get rid of the commands because we don't need to do that. We don't need this. It's just this, and then we say we go here and we go solve. We need to put diff at the top. Okay. The actual solve is that bit. This bit doesn't need to set diff. Right, min and max, and then so the scale is as f32 as f32, and then as f32. I think it'd be more interesting to actually plot whatever data they've generated rather than plotting the diagonal line that happens, because we're literally comparing the minimum of one and the maximum of the other, which is like it can't fall below the diagonal, so it's always increasing. Like it never decreases. It's not even a diagonal. There we go. Now, the question is, are there any dots we're not seeing? Because that doesn't feel like nearly as many dots. It makes me feel that some of these dots are in the same place. Like, let's go U. Which one of these dots is moving? Moving the X. That's why I think... What's it like 6 on the Y? I don't know which one of these dots this is. Can I make you like blue? I'm gonna restart it just so I can. Didn't really need to. I could have just gone to day 2 and back again, but day 2. Okay, so we should probably do something like we need to have like a day 0. Puzzle 0. And then we're just going to put that up there. And then we're going to go... You can add those 2 states. See, and then I think... yeah, and so we need the rest of the transitions, which is kind of fucking annoying. So we need to go on transition from entering puzzle 2 from puzzle 0. From 0. And then we also need 0 to 1. Okay, so then we just log data on all of those, and then instead of being this, it's on exit, and then we're going to say, no, not on exit state set load set puzzle. Can I just pass in a system like this? I'm sure this will work. Next is puzzle. It's next state, next state, puzzle state, and then just next dot set. That's not how you do that. That's very weird. Res mute, like that. That's how you do that. Set, and then it's just going to be puzzle state 0. Right. So basically, anytime we exit any of the states, set the state back to 0, so that when we enter them, they're correct. But then from there we can transition. So they won't run anything when we enter, and then when we click on the appropriate button, it'll load that puzzle data. Hopefully this works. And then when we exit back to the main menu, hey, there we go. That seems more correct. That's kind of what I was expecting. All right. And then we want to go something about there. Right. Okay, cool. So then we want to go, is it the same data? That's the question. So analyze what you feared the 2 lists of location IDs are indeed very different, or are they the historian can't agree which group made the mistake, or how to read more of the handwriting, but in interesting detail, a lot of the location ideas appear in both lists. Maybe the other numbers aren't location IDs, but are rather misinterpreted handwriting. Okay, this time you'll need to figure out exactly how each number from the list, left list, appears in the right list. Compare a total similarity score by adding up each number in the left list against, after multiplying it by the number of times that number appears on the right list. What the fuck? Okay, so here's the same example list again. 4 3 4 3 2 5 1 3 3 9 3 3. For example, these for these example lists, here is the process to finding the similarity score. The first number in the list is 3. It appears in the right list 3 times. So the similarity score increased by 9. Okay. The second number on the left list is 4. It appears on the right list once. So multiply, similarity score increases by, okay. The third number in the left list is 2. It does not appear. Okay. So similarity score is 1. The fourth one also does not appear. Okay. The fifth 3 appears in the right list 3 times. Similarity score is 9. Okay, so similarity score. Okay, so once again, considering your left and right list, right in their similarity score. Okay, so that's the wrong thing. We want this. The question is, how do I visualize that as an additional thing? So maybe we can change the color based on the number of similarities. So again, we're going to solve the puzzle in the same puzzle pass data. So I guess technically day 1 and day 2 aren't going to really be a thing. And depending on which one you press, I guess it'll give you the different score. No, just copy the same thing. I reckon we're going to do exactly the same thing, but instead of we still need to give them IDs. Yeah, it's just about thinking about how to do it in an interesting way. So I guess just again, copy the whole thing, please. Parse data. So this is for puzzle 2. Parse data 1. And then we want to copy all of this and paste it all here. And this is so this is parse data 2. Right. So again, I think we want to do the double solve, but we want to do like the actual solve somewhere else this time. So I'm thinking we want to do the actual solve like here, I guess. So we have our 2 vectors. But we want to create a so again, we don't need to sort them. Actually, can I move the commands spawning shit up to the top? I mean, possibly we could just do it up here. Right, because we don't. No, because I need the minimum and the maximum, so I need to go through the whole list before I can spawn anything. Right, anyway. So, we don't care about the difference score. I guess we can still call it difference. So, what we need to do is iterate through, we need a hash. We need to say, like, that new, similarity, and the similarity is going to be a hash map. Right. So you get a hash map, and it's just like a new hash map. Right. Then we're going to go for y in to was it set to? What the fuck did I call it? Vec2. So in vec2, so we're going to go through every single value in vector2, and we're going to say similarity dot entry and give it the value of y dot or default plus equals 1. I think that works technically. I can't apply a binary operator immediately. Yeah, I think that's how you do it instead. All right. So what that should in theory do is iterate through the list, adding 1 every time. Then what we're going to do is say, we need different here. I guess we can check it. So we let the difference here, and then we say I guess, yeah, right here. So we just need x because we've already done all our y work. So we just need vector 1. We need to iterate through vector 1. So what we need to do is say diff plus equals is x times similarity dot get x unwrap or 0. So we need to dereference here for one thing, and then apparently I need to give you a reference to 0. Okay, so we go through, we count up every time that a specific number appears into our hash map. We then go through our first map and multiply the value by the number of times it appears, which I believe is what the thing told us to do. We then say, for some reason, we are printing scale when we don't have scale. Why did I not calculate scale? I must have accidentally deleted scale. Anyway, we need the scale. Oh no, scale's just below it. There we go. It's because it was me moving something around. So up here we can get rid of the printing scale because that's not important. Okay. So it's the same set of data. So technically we don't need to do this. It's just day 1. Which I believe means that we can actually change our transition-y shit, isn't it? Okay. There was... Okay. When we load the data, however I fucking load data. Load data doesn't need the puzzle anymore. We can say puzzle is irrelevant. Because I'm assuming it's the same for all the puzzles. They appear that each puzzle is the same. That doesn't mean I'm correct, but if each puzzle is just a different way of interpreting the same data, then I don't need to load the data every time. Which would then mean that I can change how my day loading stuff works. But I might do that off stream, because I feel like the stream's going to get really long if I go fix a bunch of shit like that. Anyway. What I want to do also is when we are parsing the data, somewhere down... Okay, that did not work. I feel like you also printed exactly the same number, which is definitely incorrect. Okay. Yes, please run parse data 2. That would definitely help. So I don't know what's going on. Like why only a few of the dots appear now. That seems a bit broken. I don't know what I changed. Probably the position of when something's initialized. I don't know. Flash. Fuck you. Okay, so we go in here and we say 1. Okay, now it draws all the dots, so I don't know. Then it draws slightly different looking dots, which is a bit weird because that implies that the list is passed in a different way. Anyway, it's this number here. And then we go here, we post this and we go, yep. Hey, okay, that's 2 stars done. Okay. So, what's next? Fortunately, the first location the historian wrote to search isn't a long list for the chief historian. Okay. Okay, while the red-nosed reindeer nuclear fission plant appears to contain no sign of the chief historian, the engineers there run up to you as soon as they see you. Apparently, they're still talking about the time Rudolph was saved through molecular synthesis from a single electron. What? Still talking about that time Rudolph was saved through molecular synthesis from a single electron. Okay. They were quick to add that since you're already here, they really I appreciate your help analyzing some unusual data from the red-nosed reactor. Yeah, you turn to check if the historian waiting for you, but they seem to have already disappeared into, divided into groups that are currently searching every corner of the facility. You offer to help with the unusual data. The unusual data, your puzzle input consists of many reports, one report per line. Okay. Each report is a list of numbers called levels that are separated by spaces. Okay. The example data contains 6 reports, each containing 5 levels. Then user trying to figure out which reports are safe. The red nose reactor safety system can only tolerate levels that are either gradually increasing or gradually decreasing, so a report only counts as safe if both the following are true. All the levels are either all increasing or all decreasing. So I'm assuming 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1 is safe. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 is safe. 9, 7, 6, 2, 1 is safe. 1, 3, 2 is unsafe. I'm guessing. At most. Oh, okay. Wait. 2 adjacent levels differ by at least 1 and at most 3. So you are unsafe. 9, 6, 7, 6. You're unsafe. Okay. Right. In the example above, the report can be found safe or unsafe by checking these rules. Okay. So in this example, 2 reports are safe. Analyze the unusual data for the engineers. How many are safe? Get puzzle input. I'm guessing lots of rows? No, not lots of rows. But an indeterminate number of rows. So I can't just iterate a specific number of times, which is fine. It's also like really easy to check. Okay. So how do I visualize this? So that's the better question. I kind of want to draw lines, but I don't know how to draw lines in Bevy. Because I think outside of it being so many of them, well, when we go to our code and paste in, we don't need this anymore. Back to our code, and then we're going to go here. This is the wrong. There we go. So we're going to new, and this is day 2. Oh, it's day 2 dot. No, I'll paste it over. So there's 1,000 inputs. I don't know why that's an orange line, but okay. I don't know why it's got a little fancy icon. That's really weird. All right, so it's gonna be really easy to analyze. Is how to visualize. Because again, we're still just working in like Advent code. It's really easy. Something like mod day 2. Create that. Let's create that, please. We need to go into day 1 here. Go A C A V. Okay. We then want to go. I can clear out all the past data here. And clear out all the past data here, because these are the vectors that don't need to be done. Setup. So we're going to spawn a map, apparently, which I don't think is correct, because the map worked for the first one, because we were looking for location data. Like, how do I load something like a nuclear reactor? Like, what does a nuclear reactor look like? How do I draw lines? I think we don't want to set up. I guess we can load a. Is it like a? Maybe I can find a picture of a CRT. Not shopping, images. So we kind of want to go, like, if I save image as, save it, and then open it in GIMP. We're going to do some more just generic internet theft. Image, yeah. So what we want to do is color select this. No, I want to color select this bit, deselect that bit. No, deselect this bit. Then using rectangle and like, can you like, no, you want to, it's not shift, that control. I want to control, whoop, how, oh, I'm in the fucking magnifying glass now. I must have clicked the wrong key. So we just want to do that and unselect anything that's not inside the monitor. You can see the person taking the picture. Okay, so first off, I think we want to try and reduce the color of the image as much as we can, just so that, so we want to like invert our selection and delete everything outside. And we want to like color wand select this section. Okay, we need to somehow, again, like just remove as much of this as we can without accidentally clipping the screen. So we do that, and then can I color grab this now? Right, we want to go, we want to add this bit. We probably want to use the magic wand, not the color select now, because we want like regional proximity as well as so select all of that, select that, come on, just a little bit more. Can you unselect that though? Like that. Can we, nope. I'm going to go select, invert, delete. Okay, cool. So we want to select that. How do I, what the fuck? How have I inverted you now? Okay, anyway. So, no, I want to unselect everything, please, 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 please. For the love of God, what the fuck have I done? So this we want. Okay, delete. Delete. Okay. So I think we want to go in here and we want to go color this fucking black. And then we want to go magic wand select all this shit. Kind of want to select that and that. I want to color that. I don't know. The same as everything else. So I guess I just want to select the whole thing, don't I? It's this bit here. We want to select all of that. Undo. I'm going to unselect this bit. Oh god. It's being unwheelie. And then we want to like color this white, I guess. I don't know. We don't like a creamy color. I'm trying to make it like that color. Alright, then we want to go to magic wand. We want to say select this section, oh, select this section, unselect this, unselect that. And then we want to, okay, we need to add that section, which apparently by definition selects everything else, which is really annoying. Okay. We then want to go like a darker color. Paint bucket in there. Okay, then we want to go magic wand and select just this, please. And paint bucket this darker. No. Can you please, for the love of God, just select what I'm selecting? Alright, I want to go like select this, and then we want to go. We're going to select like an invert. Paint bucket. Nope. Fucking, why are you selecting this? Fuck it. The CRT is working. We're just gonna call that good. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go like give it a nice green button, just for the hideousness of it all. Okay. And we're gonna file. We're gonna export as screen. No, not a fucking web thing. .png. .png. Please export as screen.png. Okay. Then we're gonna load screen.png. We're gonna make it like 800 by 800. I don't know if that's correct, you know, but we'll find out. So I'm gonna run this and see what day 2 gives us. Run this and go, hello, day 2. Should hopefully have a nice like screen with a background. Hello? Hello? What are you doing? Oh, it's fucking, okay. So, for one thing, it didn't fucking load anything, apparently. Why did it not load it? Oh, because we're probably not adding the plugin, that would be why. What would be like day 2 plugin. Like so, and this should then load everything. Okay, and then we run. Okay, so unused documentation. Okay, in here it didn't do anything, which is annoying. I'm just trying to tie it up so it stops fucking yelling at me. Apparently we don't use Bevy preset. Okay, so in here, why did you not work? Past day 1. Okay, because it's supposed to be day 2. Thank you. Run that. Okay, that should fix that, and then hopefully we will now see the working fucking CRT monitor. Okay, it's a bit squished, but that might add to the jank, and I kind of like it. So next is we need to sort of like work out where this black rectangle sits. We might make it taller. I'm still going to leave it just as squished, but I'm just going to make it a bit bigger because it's currently not filling the whole screen, and the more space we give ourselves, the happier we'll be. So like 1,000. I don't remember how big I made the screen. Only 800 by 800, so apparently not filling the screen. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, so that's better. All right, so I need to work out where that rectangle is and exactly how big that rectangle is. So again, because I kind of want the data to be able to analyze anything, we kind of want to go through the data to do nothing but like work out some parameters to draw shit. So so we're going to say for line im data.0.lines. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go like let max equal and then we're going to say 0, and then we're going to go line dot line dot split pattern spacebar dot count, and then we want max equals the max dot max of that. There we go. Okay, so we make immutable. So one thing it does is it counts up the maximum number of segments that we're going to need to fill the script. All right. So we're going to need to just, for the sake of doing this, can we spawn a separate black rectangle is going to be my suggestion. Also, don't screen script that day one. We can spawn a second one, but it's going to have 800. I'm just trying to work out exactly where the black rectangle is so that I can sort of set everything into that space. So we go into here and we say, hey, that second one. It's kind of dumb. I do like it. I think it's you. And then I want to say, can I make you a bit smaller? That is 700 still to... Oh god, how am I looking around? That is scary. So, no, 750 is about right. It's about 750. 775. Could call it 775. Okay, 800 is probably actually correct then. 800. Okay, so it's 800 by 700. Yeah. 650, maybe, I don't know. 650. Okay. 675. Yeah, 675. So it's 800 by 675. So we're just going to go up here and we're going to go const monitor width equals 800 const monitor height equals 675. The offsets will work out later, but looking at that, it's about half, so we probably won't have to worry about that. Both of these are going to be use sizes. Thank you. Use this. Okay, so down here we have this, and we need to say let new columns equal 0, and then for each line columns plus equals 1. I'm trying to not like ridiculously overcount, but in reality I could just literally cause it to count it. And we put columns. Okay. First up, apparently you don't spell check everywhere. That's annoying. Okay, cool. So what we do is also, why are you reading the... Oh, because you need that for when you state scope it. Okay, so we need to know the maximum number of rows. I think that's... And then the number of columns that we need. And then we're going to... I guess we can just draw each one. Okay, we need the max max val equals, we should probably do this when we're passing all of the values, and then let min underscore val equals 532 max value. Oops. Max. Okay, so again, there's no point doing. I mean, we could just keep collecting the data. Mute safe equals. We're gonna have to go through it a second time anyway, so I kind of don't want to do safe yet. I want to collect everything so next time we go through, we have the data we need. What's hilarious about that is we're gonna end up... whatever. It's gonna be that data data equal a vector. No. Let new value equals vector new. Like, this is again not at all the fastest and easiest way to sort this. Is purely for me trying to data visualize shit for no reason. So we're gonna say for value in lines dot split right. So we're gonna split on spacebar. Right, so we do this, and then we're gonna go let val VC equals 0. Right, and then we're going to say VC plus equals 1. And then here we're going to say max is the max of U and VC. Okay, so point. Yeah, data points. So then we need to parse use. We need to say if let okay val equals value dot parse else what's let okay value else error failed to parse value. We'll just do that, and we'll come back if it ever actually becomes a problem. You need to continue. Okay. Then we need to say that values dot push val, right? Like that, and then VC plus 1. I guess technically you don't even need to keep track of VC, because we can just literally say values dot len. Right, and then when you get to here, columns, again, we can just say data point dot push values. So, and then columns again becomes redundant because columns is just the length of data points. Type annotation needed. Yes, so when we say parse, we are going to parse them as U size, U32s. So we need to still calculate our minimum and our maximum values. So max val equals max val dot max of val, and the same for min val, but instead it is min of min val, and we're setting min val. So again, min val is going to be used more for getting our scale. Okay. They're apparently I32s, which is right. Max. Right, so we can calculate all of those values. Next is to work out our data visualization, which is going to be somehow I need to draw lines. Does anyone know how to draw lines in Bevy? I suspect I'm going to end up drawing rectangles. And the rectangles will just be like from point to point, like not really good lines. They're just gonna like look at the other point and it'll just draw a rectangle. That's gonna be so dumb, so dumb. So we need to say let len equal so len is that max, so we need that to be width, monitor width divided by max. Okay, so I'm gonna say you are a you are both F32s now, because I've decided that F32 is probably F32. better value for you. And then we're going to say as f32. Right. So line L width. Okay. The line width is the maximum number of data points that I need to represent. I think it's -1. So max -1. Right. Whoop, -1. Why -1? Because math. The idea being that like we don't actually need to connect all the way. We're going to connect partial. If you have 5 dots, there are 4 segments to connect 5 dots. So we only need to divide by the number -1. So then what do? We say we need to know the width of each set of lines. So first off, I could draw them all on top of each other, but I kind of want them to be like sequences of separate lines. So in reality, min and max should probably be inside like this, and say diff equals 0, and then down here we say calculate the max, and then we say diff equals the maximum diff dot max between min max value minus min value, right? So the biggest difference between the minimum and the maximum. I think, maybe. No, I think we're using the, I guess the biggest difference tells us what each value is worth, each dot. Okay, so then we say that h, well, it's r, isn't it? Right. Equal monitor height divided by data point dot len. Okay, as f32. So that tells us how much height we have for each row. Okay. So we're going to say we need like an enum for this, so we're going to like enum direction, and this is nan ac deg. Okay, right. So we have our line width, our line height. So we're going to say for data in data points. Right. Now we have our vector. And we say let new direction equals a direction nan. Right. Which is not actually nan, it's not set, is what I'm getting at with nan. Then we're going to say for point in data. So what we need to do is we could say let last equal data 0 data skip dot skip 1. Okay, I think that's correct, because what we're going to do is we're going to iterate through. We're going to skip the last one. We're going to set the last value to being 1. Right. So we need to put safe up here, because safe is now going to get set. So we're going to say, I'm going to need to say something, probably, we need to say, let mute set safe equals false. Equals true. Okay, then we're going to go if point if I guess technically set safe is false. Yeah, no, true. Okay, if point minus last, they need to be I32s. They are I32s because I need to be able to have negative values. Okay, so if point minus last is we need the absolute dot abs is greater than what did it say? They can't be any more than any two adjacent number levels differ by at least 1 and at most 3 is greater than 3. Set safe equals false. Say or point minus last dot absolute I guess it's if they equal 0. No, I need to do that. I think I'm okay. So set safe is then okay. So then when we finally get to here, we say if set safe, then safe plus equals 1. Safe plus equals 1. So now we need to go if okay, let d equal okay. If point is greater than last direction act, right? Because the current point's greater. Else, if point is less than last direction deck, else direction nan. Now, if the direction is nan, then you've already failed. But shh, when we don't care, we've already checked that. We've already said you set false. You're not safe. First off, we need to also like apparently dereference all these because no, it's last is a suck. Last is a constant number, so I don't know what you're fucking about. This one. Okay. Act deck. Okay, so then we set a match direction. Right. If the direction is nan, then direction equals d. Right. And then if d if let maybe we should just do this and instead it's direction equals. If this is ever true, then it's already fucked. So, you know, This should be fine. Then we go here and we say, if the direction is at, then we want to, if last, we're sending last is greater than point, then set safe equals false, because you're not safe. And then you're the same where if fucking point is greater than the last, set safe. Okay, fine. Yeah, there's your reference. The last is less than point. Set safe equals false. Except it's the other way, isn't it? No, if last is less than point, which means that point's actually bigger. Okay. Set safe is false. Okay. Did I have that backwards? Whatever. Dereference, you fucking asshole. Alright, so that should deal with the actual concluding how many are safe and not safe. And then what we want to do is for each point, max. And then max is the maximum number of points. We don't care about that. It's diff. Okay. So diff here is the maximum amount. So we say if here diff per equals we want to say r height equals divided by diff, right? So the diff per is the amount of difference per unit measurement, and then our diff per here is going to be basically how we take the number and we multiply it by this, and that'll give us our difference. So what I want to do is oh no, it's not it's safe. Right. So it's fucking, we don't give a shit about this anymore. We just have enough of that. Match direction if the direction is different, then okay. And then we're gonna say last equals point. Okay. So what I need to do now is somehow work out where brain, come on. So last and point. So what we need to do is be like commands.spawn, and we want to be like a node, not a node, a sprite. Right, and the sprite needs to have a no image, a size, color of color. Wait, if set safe color is sRGB 0 1 0 else it's going to be 0 1 like that. Okay, so color, and then custom size is going to be some vec2 kind of want your y to be diff per, and your x is going to be something about the max length, width. Okay, so you spawn that, and then dot default. Right, so next is to, I guess, at some point at some point we need to set your transform, but we'll work that out later. Transform identity. Right, so we'll set your transform, and also we need to put in state scope. And then we can just say state. What is your state? It's the puzzle state. Puzzle.get. Like that. Oh, okay. Right, so we state scope, and then we set the puzzle, and we set safe, and then we go down here and we say print line copy to advent, and that is safe. So first off, this should solve the puzzle for one thing. Fuck off. Right. Alright, so this should hopefully solve the puzzle. We'll find out. Fuck me. So we go to 2 and we go 1. Well, first up, it's zoomed in, which is even more bizarre. Okay, so it reckons that there's 334 safes, so we'll find out if our code was correct. So, are we actually checking correctly? Apparently so. Okay. So now we just got to get it to visualize it. So it should have spawned a whole bunch of fucking lines. It did. Where did it draw these lines, and what do these lines look like? So one thing is, oh fuck, it crashed. Okay, so let's pop back in here for one thing. Whoop, that's the wrong code. Down here, go to here, go here, go kind of want to state scope them all in. We can get rid of that second monitor that's being spawned. That could partially be the problem. Unlikely. Right, we'll do that. Then we're going to go run. Actually, that's interesting because that means it's set safe, because I'm using set safe to set the color. Means it's actually going to tell you which one failed. I was not actually, that wasn't the plan. Click 1. Okay, so it filled in the data. So we're going to go in the editor and we're going to go, okay, now what the fuck is your problem? Right, so you're red. So it's probably that they're just a bit too narrow, because there's 1,000 of them and there's not 1,000 pixels, so they're less than a pixel wide. Okay. So let's just say 1. All right, so yep. Okay, so your Y is just going to be 1. All right. So that sets that. So now there you transform. So your transform needs to be I need to dot enumerate, and it needs to be I. Except I think I want enumerate to be on the other side. So right, because we don't want 0, we want 1, which is going to be, so your transform's Y location. So from so first off, I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll find out. So from translation, your translation is going to be a vec3 new. So your X position is going to be L width times by I. Right. Except I don't think it's that. I think it's like, so that would mean we want to enumerate after we've skipped 1. We want to go L width plus I as F32, right? And it's L width plus 0.5, right? I and a half. So then our Y is going to be equal to, wait, no, this is our data point. That's our y, that's actually. So our y is equal to, so it's yeah, no, that's correct, data. So we want you to be y, I guess, and then dot enumerate, dot, into iter dot enumerate. That's y, and then we're gonna say y as f32 times by what did I call it? Something height. Height. Right. So I don't think that particularly matters, but it's fine. And then z is just 0. So that should put each line at a different point at least. Dot 0, and then we go like dot look at wait, no, your y position is I guess it's something like y as f32 plus, or I guess y plus point as f32. It's as f32 as well. As f32. Right, so both of them as f32 times by r height. That should work. We've got to do it. So like that. So that should set a y, and then you're looking at position. So the target will be a vec3. So I think up is y. And your z is going to be 0. So we want to be looking at L underscore width times by I as f32 minus 0.5. And then you are y as f32 plus last as f32 times r height. That should be the last position, and then it just looks at the last position. So we set its current position equal to that, and then last position equal to that, and we just see if these line up. I don't think they will, because I think what I actually want is it to be looking, it won't be at that point, looking at the point and then move it forward. Whereas instead I've kind of set it to the middle, and then I've got it pointing at the other end. Well, they're not visible, that's for one thing. So sprite. So 1 pixel apparently. Not wide enough. No, they're just not fucking anywhere nearby. The fuck is your problem? Are you rotated in the Z somehow? Is that what you've done? No. So why can't I see you? I don't know where you are. Can I turn this camera off? Not you. Which one is it though? That's kind of the scary thing, isn't it? That one's red. I said you're like 800. Surely I can see you. That's what's concerning, is the fact that I can't see them at all. Where the hell is it? Is it transform of 400? Where the hell are you? Visibility, inherited, visibility, visible. Why can't I see you? You should be visible. Where the hell are you? Scale's correct, transform's correct. Fucking. Where the hell is it? Okay, let's grab one that I haven't moved yet. And go, okay, hey, if I set this back to 0, hey, you're visible. So, am I rotating around the wrong fucking axes then? I think I am. Okay, so, I need to rotate you around. So I think we want Z to be up, maybe? Okay, so when we say looking at with Z being the up direction. See if that works. Are they all gonna be visible? Apparently not. Apparently not. Sprite. Your rotation is very wrong. So Z being up is incorrect as well, apparently. Because that's just... Okay. We set you to 0. Let's copy you. 0. Paste that in. Go, where the hell are you? Okay. So, if I set you to 0. Okay. I don't know why I can't see you either. That's the question. Why can't I see them? Okay, what if we get rid of the fucking looking at shit? Because that seems to be breaking the visibility of stuff for some reason. Okay, because I just need to know. Like, are they spawning in the right location? Because they could just be ending up really fucking far away. And therefore I'm just like trying to rotate them and there's no way to be found. Okay, so for one thing, they're all spawning in that top fucking nada direction. You know what? That's kind of cool. That may end up being the data visualization. I just need to fucking offset it by the half width. So monitor height width divided by 2 plus and then view plus, except we need you to be negative. Okay, they need to be that one, and in your monitor height. Thank you. And then when I say run first, run, we get a screen full of fucking code. And there we go. Doop. And then we go 1. Okay, it's too big. I'm fucking something up. I've probably fucked it up because I've said it's 800, but it's actually not 800. So probably 600, and the height is still too tall. So I think you want to be like 600, and maybe make you 600 as well. And then we run it again and just have a look. Okay, we go 1, and we go, hey, look at it. Okay, so it's not exactly in the right place. It needs to be slightly shorter. So maybe let's go the height. Okay, so we want a height of 575 and a width of, I guess 575 as well. 575. And that should then render the code nicely, like render it inside the screen at least. And so you can see all the safe ones are up here, and then the values just go and degrade. And so the way it kind of, because it's how it's drawing. So as you can see, this one is ascending. So that one's the one at the top here is like descending. It's off the screen. This one's ascending. This one's descending. I think, I don't know. You can't really tell there, but overlap. But you can see like this one was bunk from the beginning. This one's sort of good, then it stops being so good. And then, like, as you get to the bottom, like, they're all more and more red. It's kind of actually a good visualization of that data. It's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting it to be in order like that, where it was like the ones at the top were safe and the ones at the bottom were not. And I don't think I'm specifically doing anything that would cause them to, like, distinguish themselves like that. Like, that's got to be how they're generating the data. And I suspect that when I go into the next story beat, it's going to start telling me that, oh no, there's something with the data that's indicating something or other. Anyway, let's go jump back over to the advent of code and go, okay, so next, the first puzzle half is complete. Okay, providing your start. The engineers are surprised by the low number of safe reports until they realize they forgot to tell you about the problem dampener. Okay, the problem dampener is a reactor mounted module that lets the reactor safety system tolerate a single bad level in what would otherwise be a safe report. Okay, it's like the bad level never happened. Okay, now the question with that is, does that mean that one bad level? Why is this still unsafe? 1, 2, 7 is your bad level. 8, 9. Like, right? Like, right. So it's not. It allows you to ignore one failure. It allows you to ignore the failure and then continue. So now the same rules applied as before, except if removing a single level from an unsafe report would make it safe, the report instead counts as safe. More of the above example reports are now safe, right? Now, this is not going to be the easiest thing to convert in my code because it makes really obvious to me sense of like how to tweak this. So again, we're just going to copy this. And then we're going to paste it down here. We're going to remove that one, go up here and remove this bit. Right. So the really obvious thing for me to do would be to say, it's not here, it's here. Let me can skip, right, and equals true. And then we say if can skip equals false, else set safe false, right? And that's basically, we replace all the places in here where we say, hey, if last is can skip. Right. But this isn't going to exactly work because I suspect the biggest issue you'll run into is, oh yeah, it also needs to continue. Can skip, and then can skip equals false and continue. Except we don't want to continue. Right. So skip equals false. Do I need to know? Like, I don't think there's any need to continue, except technically it's possible. Like if skip. If not skip, because we don't want to skip twice, and then we say skip equals true. Right. because again, this is purely about data visualization, because otherwise I would just not. So here we say if not skip. This is about my data visualization, is that I want it to come in here and say if set safe and can skip, else if set safe and then else. Okay, so we're going to color them blue if they're being skipped. Right. But I don't think this is going to give me the right number, because something just like a nagging sensation tells me that this is going to become an issue, because if you skip a value, because one of the things I do, I literally skip the first value, set the last to that and skip it, is if it's ascending, we skip a value and now it's descending. It technically may still be solvable. Like, it will work on anything else, but if we haven't yet set the descending, ascending value, which is what we do here, like if the direction hasn't yet been set, we set it. Now I'm gonna hope when I hit run that this is just gonna be one of those. It's unlikely that an ascending and then a descending set is going to be saved by a single one flipping directions. It's just if it ascends to the first one but descends the rest of the way, it will fail with the way I've got it set up, I'm pretty sure, because it will set it to ascending. Okay. That doesn't seem right. You said 394. Okay, so there's a different number, but I don't see any blue lines. There must be some in there. I'm probably just not seeing them. Anyway, let's see if that's correct. I don't think it is. I have a suspicion that because of how I'm checking, that's not going to be correct. Yeah, that was not the right answer. Your answer is too low. Yeah, okay. Turn it down. So I suspect that what's happening is I'm working out that it's ascending because of the current target. But if we remove the current target, it would actually be descending the whole time. So what I'm trying to avoid, really, is checking the list multiple times. Like, what I could do is calculate ascending, ascending, descending, descending. But what I need to do is then remove and then check that again. So it's got to be here. So if you've already decided to skip, which is that the difference is greater than or not equal to 0. See, this shouldn't matter, because no matter what, oh no, it does matter. God damn it. What we need to do is we need to make data mutable, so we need to iter and you keep track of I. So we need to iterate through all the data. Okay. It does matter because the difference between these 2 points is different once we remove the point. Oh no, because we're checking that anyway. We check, we don't update last, which means that technically the new point will check the old point. So I'm pretty sure that still works, because when we go to the next one, we never update the last, which means that it'll actually correctly guess the correct distance. Okay, so it's purely just that if it ascends and then descends, we're not catching it. So we need to say something like, we also never set skip back to true, or back to false. Okay, so when you start, we need to say the very first thing. Maybe it's just this. Maybe skip equals false. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe that's the problem. That's going to immediately catch a whole bunch more, because at the moment it's like if it skips them and then it never updates the fucking thing again. So just doing that. First up, a whole bunch of lines disappeared. Why did a whole bunch of lines disappear? I also got a way smaller number. That doesn't seem correct. Okay. What's the number I've got on my clipboard? 300. Oops. So not only did the number get smaller, wait, yeah. First up, it's skip doesn't need to be out there. It's skip, let skip equal false. So I'm sure it said that the number was bigger. I don't remember though. I'm pretty sure it said my number was too big. Let's put the same number back in so I don't think it counts how many times you try. I'm not entirely sure. What the fuck happened to my... Did I accidentally close it? The fuck? Weird. So it places it can say that that's not the right answer. Your answer is too low. So weirdly enough, putting skip in here gets me a lower number than the actual correct answer, which is bizarre to me. 341. Okay, so it's not like that's changed. That's good. That's good. All right. So what do I need to do? All right. What do I need to do? So it's here. We probably want to keep the enumerator. So if direction is nan, if direction is okay. So if not skip, check the direction, because if you skip, we don't care about the direction, which would mean that we never set the direction if it's already wrong. The issue is if we skip after the fact. So it's if we skip after we've decided we're ascending. I don't know how to do this. Like more with the data visualization stuff, because if it wasn't for that, I would just iterate through it multiple times, and like the first time a value fails, take it out, iterate through again. So what is doing this? So is the trick is if it decides it's ascending. Okay, so if point is greater than last ascending. So it's impossible to be wrong when you get to here if we haven't picked a direction yet. Which means it's only those two. Which means that once we've set a direction. No, because what we need to know is if the next value would be ascending. Oh, god damn it. Because it's not just the value that failed that could be the problem. In theory, a value that succeeded its check could fail the next check. So I don't think it's quite as simple as just skipping it. If one value is wrong. The other issue is that points. So kind of want to go I don't know how to do it. It's the issue. Like, not in an elegant way. What we could do is something along the lines of data points. Let me say let mute to check again equals a vector and then we go for data points, and then we say if set save else. I think we want to get rid of, I guess can skip can stay. The issue is that can skip no, we need to get rid of the can skip. Just because I think can skip's going to mess up my thoughts here, like for what I'm trying to do. So basically set safe. Then we go, don't care about skip. Right. Like if I leave can skip, I'm going to end up miscounting something because I'm expecting it to be in the set. So this is also going to be a pretty dodgy way of doing this, like slow as hell. But again, we're writing it in Rust and there's not that many data points, so it shouldn't be too bad. So what we're going to do is, yeah, just set save, turn it green, please. Here it is. So else, check again. Else for for I in 0 dot dot data dot len. This is again really bad. Let mute out equals to check equals again mute again equals vector. No. Okay. Then we need to say to check is just a vector as well. No, right? So then we need to say for point in data dot iter dot enumerate, we need pi. Okay, so if pi equals I, continue to check dot push point, then again dot push to check, and check again dot push to check again. Okay. Oh no, it's equals I. So Right, we need to dereference point. Right, so you now become, so you're the new to check data where we're skipping exactly one value, and then to check is a set of points where we're skipping the ith point, and then again is a vector of all possible permutations where we skip an additional one, and then check again becomes here, and then we go for data point in check again. Oh god, then we have to run. I'm gonna do this, but I'm not gonna visualize any of this shit because it's just gonna fuck it, we will. Fuck it, cluster the screen up. Okay, so then this will work, this will work, this will work. So I have a value that's wrong here somewhere. Okay, so direction, so the data points, and then we pass in the data points to here. And we say for nan, but we're gonna say set safe. Yep. And then we're gonna go here and we're gonna say, okay, so for each of these we iterate through. When we get to the last, okay, so we iterate through all of the data points, which I think, according to that, are we going one too many, one too few? This blue one here and there. Okay, so I think we're missing one, like here. Okay. So. Check again, borrowed. What do you mean? Wait. No, you're inside the wrong fucking one. If set safe, check again. Okay. But you need to be like one further down, I think, like this. Is this how this works? It says set safe, and then this is okay. So we can ignore that. So we're going to iterate through all the data points here. Yeah. So direction is nan. So we iterate through all of our data points in check again, and then we run this check, and then we go down here, and at some point it says spawn. Okay, at some point is set safe is probably not this yellow one. It's probably here. So here we say if set safe. Safe plus equals 1, like that, and then we continue. No, we break. Right, and this break should break this outer loop here. So basically, we've made a set of sets that contains like every each possible value removed from the list. Where the hell did my YouTube go? So we're gonna remove. We're gonna make, so if it's got 5 values, we're gonna make 5 additional lists where 1 value's been removed from each of the lists. We will then check each of those to see if it's safe. If we find one that's safe, we stop checking, because otherwise we'll end up double counting. Because it's possible that removing any, like there's 2 values that we could remove that make it safe. But by removing, by breaking early, we remove that possibility. So then, and apparently we're still data visualizing this whole thing, so it should be right. Apparently there's an error, access denied. Because the game's already open. We're just gonna go run. Thank you. Come on. Hopefully this works, and then I'm gonna call it a day if this works. If not, I'm just gonna have to fuck around for a while until that does work. Anyway, 2, and then this should give us a number of like 404. Who knows if that's actually right? At least it's not insanely high. Yeah, so return to day 2. Answer is too low. So we can submit 404. Hey, okay, get the right answer. Oh, fuck me, that was hard. Only because I was trying to do it smart. The fucking brute force way worked really well. That's a fucking terrible way of doing it though. I made so many additional lists that I fucking aggregated all the lists together and then iterated through the list and then returned early and it's purely because I have no way of knowing if it ascends and then descends, because I would have to somehow check the value next in queue, I think, to see if it descends. I'm sure there's a way you get around it. Like, I'm trying to think like what I would be doing, and the idea is if the first value sets it to ascending, it succeeds, and then we lose the last value. That's what was going wrong. So we can't then, when we check the next one, say, hey, this one descends, so that means the previous one could be the error, and we can't check that because we've already lost the data point behind it to see if the current one is in the right orientation, and it actually wouldn't be without checking the one in front. So this is kind of like the only way I can personally think of coming up with that would check it, is to like literally just check every possible permutation. Probably don't need to compute them all and then check them. You probably come up with a more elegant way of like computing them as you needed them. So like computing the first one, checking it, then computing, if it fails, computing the next one, checking it, and if it fails, computing the next one and checking it. But it just seems easier just to iterate through a list of lists and then just compute everything. So yeah, anyway, that's the stream for today. I'm really fucking tired after doing that. So thank you for tuning in. I plan hopefully at some point to turn these into like videos. So I've got the VOD recorded, and so it'll be a higher quality video, and I'll like edit out the stuff and I'll read the story prompts and stuff like that. So don't forget to like and subscribe and that kind of stuff if you're interested in seeing more of this. And hopefully tomorrow I'll do some more, and I do 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. So who knows? Apparently 2 advents of codes is all I can manage to fucking cram out in a day. I might sneak ahead and like read the story prompt and see if I can come up with a valid image is another thing to do. Because like I spent ages just sort of coming up with this. I think it actually did look better as a solid line. Maybe these didn't. I don't know. The line definitely looked kind of cool. A bit square. There's no difference between data 1 and data 2, I think. Data 2 is a little more crowded. Is that how long it takes to compute that? Like, is it really slow? Who knows? God damn. All right. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Yeah, so like I was saying, I might sneak ahead, work out like what background images, that kind of shit, so that I'm not trying to make stuff on stream, because it's kind of funny but also like annoying. Maybe I'll make these better. The drop shadows really fucking far away. Like put numbers on them or something so that they're not. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. We're gonna find something to be like then stop stream.